여러분, 제 이름은 마야입니다. Welcome to my channel. This is the mayajang vlogs. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for updates of new videos uploaded. So for today's video, I'm gonna tell you some tips and my personal experience on how I passed. Yes, I passed Korean citizenship interview in just one take and without deactivating Facebook. Mine was 3 months after I received a notification through via text message and a letter comes from the immigration. The letter goes like this, looks like this. Mine was last February 11. There's so much time for the preparation, like for 3 months after receiving they said schedule. I received this last January 21, I guess. So my scheduled date was February 11. So it's about just 2 weeks, 2 weeks span. 2 weeks span of difference to really study hard. But during those 3 months of from my application, what I did was I collect sources first before anything else. So the first thing is printables. This is the first source I have, and this book was given by the immigration. Upon application, you will receive this book given by them. And I have another printables. This one. The first tip is sources. It's what I have said during the span of before I receive the text message. I collect sources like the book coming from the immigration. This one, another from the printables, and I have this one, Home, and another book from the seller in the Facebook. This one. So, and I have also another one. Sa damunhwa program, kiip book. Then you can also have a topic book. Don't worry guys, if you don't have, you can find any other sources. You can find it online and just buy the book. It's up to you. So mine was from my application. This is the first thing I did. This printable. I have this 100 items. I just highlight everything, the important keywords and pointers, the questions like that, and the root words, all of this, and just focusing on highlighting everything. Also with this book given by the immigration, since this book is a comic style book. The first time I saw this book, I really got no interest. Why? Because it's a comic style book and I find it very complicated. But when I saw it the summary, my one friend told me, the one who passed the interview also, you can study right here also. At the end of every chapters, there you can find a summary of each chapter. The easiest way to study, to make as your source, because it's already plotted summary. And then I just highlighted one. Same thing, the important keywords and root words. The next source I have was this one I have told you, the Home. So it's like a key book also, but this book I haven't scanned much in this, because from the other sources that I have already it is where I have focused a lot. And then when I was scanning on this other book, so I find it just the same. So you can have a lot of sources, but if you find really your most comfort sources, then it's up to you. Then the next source is this one, a book made by my friend on Facebook. I just knew her through her page about the Filipino who also passes the Korean citizenship interview. So it's really a big help
this one of those of the sources that is my favorite. The summary part. I'm sorry, but I haven't read everything in here. I directly moved to the last part, which is the summary part of this book. So glad to say that all of these pages, from the beginning of the first page of the summary until to the very end, I studied it all. So the reason why every time me and my husband have the Q&A portion, so he's so tired, and because all of these pages, this has a 14 chapters, yes. Then all of this, I asked my husband to ask all the questions from the very first chapter up to the last one. I think that was all the sources that I gathered during for my interview. The next I can give is to learn from the previous pastors. Do not hesitate to to ask or to gather some information from your, if you have friends who have already passed ahead of you, because they are more experienced than us. So what to expect, the guidelines and all, so you can have any ideas on how to, I mean, if you ask them, the more you are eager, and the more you can picture out the possible things that may happen during your interview. And then the next is to make scheduled chapter of study. Yes, it's a very important thing. It's like planning. It's like planning if you're having a business or a trip. It's like an itinerary. So in the study, you need to also have, or to make an scheduled chapter study. What I mean is, for example, let's take this, since I have studied only the summary part. So the chapter 1 is history. The next chapter is about national emblems. Then the third chapter is about holidays and so on and so forth, constitution, and how the major holidays like that. So what I'm trying to say about plan a chapter of a study, like for today, you can study all the chapters from the history. If you still can, up to chapter 2, then the following day you can proceed to review for the 2 chapters, and then you have to do it so on and so forth, the same thing, and until you reach the last chapter of the source you have chosen. And then same thing as what you have done, as what I have done to this printables. I studied first day for 3 pages until so on and so forth. Same thing as that. As long as you have a schedule, it's up to you on how to do it. But for me, it's maybe it's a plotted way, or a very simplest way on how for you to not to stress out, and not to get frustrated, and where do I have to start, like that. And then
The next tip is learn or study with a Korean. If you have your husband or a friend, please encourage them to help you out, like for the question. If you think you're ready already, I mean, you started a lot, you are not ready yet, maybe you are ready, you have already the confidence to jump into the question and answer. So ask a Korean, ask your husband to do so with you. Why? Because the pronunciation, first is the pronunciation, and then the speedity of their the way they talk is very important. I am so glad I have a husband with me, trying to helping me all of the time. Even though I know he's exhausted, study with me all the book, so he's kind of exhausted. By that, I am practiced by the pronunciation, the way he talks, and I mean the way of interviewing, like there's a Korean in front of you, and like it's like you're really in the situation of with a panel with you, like that. So it would be really a great of help. The next thing is, do not forget to use imida. Yes, it's very important. And the imida, if you maybe I think there are people who fail the exam because they are not using the imida. So by then, when you start studying, like you need to, like, even if you're studying alone, answer it with imida. For example, if the question is 우리나라 제조기 국가 이름은 무엇입니까? The answer is 고조선. So instead of 고조선 itself, you have to answer is 고조선입니다. Then the next is the pronunciation. Pronunciation is very important. Reviewing, so the reason why it's very important to have a Korean person with you during the Q&A, so you can practice the pronunciation, because during the interviewer might talk fast. So if you have practice, then you would probably answer it well with the correct and right pronunciation. Next is to understand the questions. You need to understand the questions, not just by just memorizing and all. So when you really understand the questions, even though, for instance, it happens to me, it was about the insurance, I guess. The question is about the insurance. The question was a story-like question. Still the context there. The reason why, if you understand the questions, you can still answer, even if they will try to interchange or make some twist on the questions. Then next is to do not compromise, but do not stress out yourself too much. I mean, do not compromise, especially when it's just your scheduled date is too near, like 2 days before. I mean, you have to review, but don't cram too much, because the tendency of cramming too much might get you lost, or might get you forget all the things you have studied. And then it's just stress too much. If you don't like, if you find it so frustrating, then stop for a while. So don't stress out too much. That's why I'm not deactivating my social media accounts, because every time I don't feel like studying, I mean, you cannot instill all of the things you have memorized or studied. So I do not push it too much, because I have a baby. Then I am still at the part of our postpartum stage. I have a baby to take care of. But because when I stress out too much, I'm afraid I will get sick. So just take it moderately.
There you go, guys. It's a wrap up. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you find this video very informative and helpful also in your journey to your Korean citizenship interview. If you have your thoughts and experiences also, please do not hesitate to write it down on the comment section below. I would love to hear from you by the next, maybe the next of my videos. If you would like me to do the video on what are the preparations, or what are the requirements on applying for citizenship, and what are the things to expect during the interview, I would love to do it for you guys. Just comment down below, and please don't forget to subscribe and like my video. And thank you so much, guys, and see you next time. This is mayajang vlogs. Bye bye. 수고하셨습니다.